Alright, here we are. This is my Tama Superstar Custom, or what's left of it. Before we do a video on it, I've only just pulled it out of the attic and actually just assembled it. I have not touched this kit in probably about 15 plus years. I can't remember the exact date I stopped playing, but it was before I had my first job, so we're looking at when I was about 16, 17, around there, when I got my first job. And I sold the bits just before then because I needed some money. Basically, I wanted some money. And over the years, I think I started playing when I was about 9 years old. If I remember right, I got my first drum kit. There was opportunity to take lessons at school. I was very fortunate enough. I believe thanks probably my mother more than anything. I was able to get the lessons at school at an extra cost. You know, have like one lesson a week. Probably had lessons for a couple of years. Ended up playing in a band at school. Did bits for my music GCSE. Had a bit of a band session just after school, so you're sort of probably at 17, 18, around there. And then ultimately, I ended up selling it. Friends moved away to university, and it kind of disassembled there. And not to mention the sort of music scene has changed. And basically, this got put away. This has been in my attic, for probably the last 15 odd years. I'm hoping this GoPro does okay. This GoPro is quite old as well, by all means. I'm just sitting here scratching my head. This is everything. I've got two bass drums. It wasn't always a two bass drum set. It was bought as an original. This is a 12 and this is a 14 hanging tom. This isn't the original snare drum either. I'll talk about that in a moment. I had to sort of scratch my head again about that. And I did want to sort of do a video on that alone, but ultimately I think I'll just throw a bit of it in now, and if you want to see more, I can do a separate video on that. But I sold the 10 just before I stopped playing. I think I didn't like how the 10 sounded, the 10-inch tom. Even though I used it quite a bit, I don't know. Something about me at that point just decided to sell it. There was this titanium fade. It's a really nice color. My screen's now gone off, so I can't see how well it's all covered in the dust. You can see I haven't cleaned it. It's covered in literally 15 years of dust. I haven't played it because obviously I can't. I've sold my cymbals. I used to have AAX. I had a 19-inch and an 18-inch AAX Explosions. To be honest, I should have never sold those. They were really nice cymbals, and if anything, I'd like to get the same one, but the 19 and probably the 20 or 21. I used to spend hours listening to the cymbals online, but I used to have Iron Cobras. At one point, I had a double rolling glide Iron Cobra, and then I had I had two single Iron Cobras. This is a Yamaha pedal that I'm not going to be ashamed to say that I stole from the school, because I think they had various drum kits that were in pieces from like the 80s, and I think this was just a pedal that was literally just abandoned for a long time, and I just took it, I think. And that's the same with this cymbal as well. I think this cymbal was like in some Victorian like closet, and it wasn't being used, and I was like, well, I'll have that. I had it as like a little sort of splash cymbal. It says crash, but it's more of a splash. It's not really very good, very cheap. And for that reason I never sold it. But yeah, that's kind of, I never had this pedal as it's set up, but the bass drum I saw on eBay for a good price, probably like £30 back in the day, and I picked that up cheap. There was a 16-inch floor tom. God, even now I'm annoyed I didn't get it. I think it was a couple of £100. And it was in this color, and I really wanted that even back then. And I think there was even an 18. It was really rare. You probably had to order it at the time. There was an 18-inch tom in this. Now, the Superstar was always a budget kit. I always really wanted a Star Classic, but having looked at what Tama do and what Tama have done now, I actually think this still looks really good, and it still sounds good. But I think they didn't make these much longer after the era, and I can't remember the date on this. I think I got this for like my 15th birthday, which with some quick math will probably put it in sort of 2006 era, maybe 2005, somewhere around there, maybe. Got it from my local drum stop. So the snare I had on it, I'm very hard on the snares. I don't know, I think my original rim for this one's either gone or it's upstairs, and I have got another rim for this one. But the original snare that came with this kit warped. Whether I over tightened it, whether there was something wrong with the shell, whether it had gotten damp when it was sold or whatever, I don't know. But the original snare, I just didn't like it, and I think I say it was warped. I just couldn't get it to tune and sound good, so I immediately got rid of that. I had various different snares. I had a really nice hammered snare, Tama hammered snare, which is actually worth quite a bit. That was a 12-inch. I used that for a lot because if the double drums wasn't a kind of an obvious, I was kind of inspired by like Chris Adler, drummers like that at the time. But I always really like my sort of pop music, so like drummers like from like the 4 Year Strong, I remember being really good. 1 Minute Silence had a really good drummer. Who else was someone? Obviously, the Rage Against the Machine, Brad Will, am I getting that right? The Rage Against the Machine drummer, an Audio Slave drummer, Soundgarden drummer, probably my favourite drummer of all time. So, and that's again why you see the sort of only the 2-tom setup and the single. I never really used the double. I was just looking here and I cut this off and I was thinking, why did I do that? And I did that because this was initially clamped next to the secondary pedal here, and there's markings on top of here where I think I clamped like a cowbell clamp on top of there or something. I don't know why I did that, but this needs a lot of TLC. Really, it needs, you know, a couple £100 on cymbals, a couple £100 on pedals, reskinning ideally. It needs reskinning anyway. And again, I haven't played in about 15 years. So if you want to see some of this stuff, you know, please leave a like, leave a comment if you play an instrument or something. But it's something I've always wanted to get back into, but it's just something with work, when I was working, just never came around. And it's like I think this came from one of my good friends I used to play with. I've had a few of these, and again, I've only found this one. I don't know what happened to the other one, the actual Metallica Lars Ulrich sticks. I don't know if they still make these. I'll have to go and have a look. I'm sure there's some kicking around, but I don't know why I've got one. I don't know where the other one is. And I think I have got a set of sticks somewhere, and it's definitely not these. I used to like the Vic Firth, I think 5A Extreme, so like they're a bit thicker, they're a bit longer, about 1 inch longer. They are my favourite, but to be honest, I might like something different now. But this snare, I'm not gonna play it. I know that's a bit of a tease, but I'm not. I've also got a bit of my window open, but this I got cheap. I got this for like £30. I always really wanted like the brass snare or an aluminium snare, and I was always looking at random stuff. And I guess I probably am best to take this off because I do want to show this a bit. If the camera's still rolling, this camera's a bit broken at the minute. But I've had various parts. You can see there's bits of another snare there. I've had various parts around. I said I had a few Tama snares. And basically I got this for like £40, and it's not really obvious. It was really rusty. It didn't have this, I've forgotten the word of it, die-cast hoop on the top of it. It initially had like a single cast or single banded hoop on the bottom, which you can see this one, it's actually not so bad. I don't know what we're getting on the camera here, but yeah, here we go. It was basically rusty. It was really, really, really rusty. And even this hoop, I think, is a little bit bent because it's so rotted. But all of it was basically pitted. Even this outside was all ruined. And to be honest, looking at my cleaning job I did at like 15, it was pretty terrible because I was looking at the label here, which I can hopefully get on nice on the camera. I was looking at the label here and I was trying to figure out what this is. This is a Tama power metal drum, which seems to be quite rare. I always thought it was aluminium. I don't know. I actually, looking at it again now, I would say it's possibly a stainless steel. But it has pitted a bit again. I know I don't think this top was pitted either. I think that's happened since it's been on it. I don't think because I think I've got a brand new hoop to put on the bottom, which I never did. Because this actually sounded so good. Oh yeah, you can definitely see it's warped because. Yeah, you can even see it's warped on the camera, right? So this is now in line with the head. and then this actually should be a dip here. There should be a dip right over my fingernail, but there's no dip here. You can there's literally nothing there. So that's what the top did, and I actually played it for a while. Not to mention these rims, because I used to rim shot on basically all my hits. These rims just like crack and bend anyway. So I have got a bottom for this, but it's a 10 lug, right? So I looked at it and I knew it was something decent. It's a 10 lug, which is kind of rare in the snares. And I don't know, I got this and I really liked it. This was a gem. And then trying to look for it, I couldn't really find much on it. And there's apparently a nickel-plated brass version, but I don't think this is. I don't think this is that. And then some say it's stainless steel, some say it's aluminium. So I assume there's one of each. There's one of each type, but I've got no real way of knowing. I'd like to polish this. Obviously, this needs TLC. You're like, Tom, why are you talking about this drum so much? I don't know. This was kind of like my baby. The snare's like the big sort of secret to drumming and stuff, isn't it? Really. So I was always really happy. And this needs a new skin, and I don't think I would get this skin again. I didn't like it really much at the time, but I just ran with it because it was expensive, and I think it's what someone recommended at the time. But it's got Evans skins all over it. I think if I was to go for it again, you can see my original old skin. I was on the front of this one, and it's a Remo pinstripe. I think I'd go with those again. Just being out of the whole thing, they're the skins I started on, and they're the skins my school kit had that I played on for years. And I just remember they were really nice skins to use. But anyway, I guess I'll probably tidy it up there, really. There's not much else to say. I've got a lot of stands, I've got a lot of spare bits still. I don't know about that snare. I don't even know where that came from. Again, I have no idea. Like, you know, videos like me cleaning this up, cleaning the kit, even if you want to see a video of me cleaning this, I suppose. But the whole thing is, yeah, I'm a bit annoyed I sold that tom. I'm annoyed I didn't get the floor tom in the era. I haven't got a proper mount for this tom, and I don't know why. I'm kind of annoyed I haven't got that for some reason. Obviously I need cymbals. There's loads of cymbals I wanted. Travis Barker used to famously use a Zagian Sweet Ride, 21-inch Sweet Ride. I've always wanted that cymbal. I've always wanted that, but yeah, it's just stuff like that. I don't know. I haven't really got the money to do it, but yeah, I thought it'd be cool to just show. I guess I just got it out of the attic. I say it's been like 15 years or more. So thank you for watching. I say leave a like if you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye. Get them surely, but anyway.